Hey guys, Saturday, May the 18th of 2024. This is Market Recap. But before we do Market Recap, there's a little story I want to share. This is Jonah. This is Nineveh. God sent Jonah to go preach to this city. They were doing a lot of bad things to repent. And they got 40 days to do it. If not, judgment was coming to this city. Some scholars think that there was like a solar eclipse happening around here, and that they saw that as a sign and they repented. And he was waiting for the destruction within 40 days to happen, and it didn't happen. And then the story continues going on there. Now going to the future, April 8th, we had a solar eclipse over the U.S. And some Christians think that that was a sign from God for us to repent. And today is the 40th day. There's a saying, may you live in interesting times. I think we are living in some interesting times. So let's see what plays out. Uranium futures. It's official. I am out of uranium futures. My position. The last one I owned was uranium, UROY, uranium royalty. And I sold Friday. So I have no uranium exposure. I am out. Let's see what happens. Couple of things. I don't want to scare the kids because I know there's a lot of hardcore uranium fans out there. Two things could happen. Cycles already peaked. They're going down, right? Does it mean the uranium is just going to crash? Not necessarily. I've seen things in the past that either it goes sideways while the cycle is down. So I was thinking, if I'm in uranium and I have exposure and it's just not going to go nowhere until the cycles bottom out and then they go up, I'd rather just not have that, tied up in a market that's not going to really do anything. It's just going to go sideways until this cycle bottoms out and goes up and then maybe follows it. So I wanted to take that money and put it to work on something else. Another outcome could be that uranium starts correcting, and then you start giving back all the gains you had, within this bull run. And then lastly is that uranium continues going higher while the cycles are going down. So if it continues going higher while the cycles are going down, then I lost out on that. Kudos for all the uranium bulls. But if the sideways action plays out and the cycles are down, I could take this money and have it playing somewhere else. And then lastly is the ugly one, is that uranium will follow this cycle going down and there's a correction coming and you give your gains back. So I decided to lock in, wait for the cycles to bottom, and then I'll jump in. So that is my position, and we'll leave it there. Next, nickel. I'm looking at some other interesting commodities right now, and this one is looking pretty good. We put a bottom around February, and look at this market. Just chucking along very nicely, something to keep an eye on in regards to nickel. I don't trade nickel, but I saw it on the list. Looking good. Tin, another market I don't really watch. They did a low around November of last year. And look at this market just trending higher. Pulled back. Maybe retest a new high right here. Interesting market to keep an eye on. Coal. We got our coal that we put a low around February, went up here around April, pulled back, and now just kind of sideways. Looks like maybe this could be a little 50% range right there from these lows. So it's kind of stuck in the mud now to see if it wants to take out that high or go and retest the low. And let's go into our chart here, futures. I was looking at Bitcoin last, but let's go here. Indices. Start with the indices. Let's go to our weekly chart. Some may ask, why you look at this chart like that? You know what? Because there's like no indicators. This is just price action. And I'm just looking at it. Obviously it's a default of candles, but I understand candles. So it kind of gives me the real price action of what the chart is doing. So that's why I like to look at this chart. And I like looking at the weekly and the monthly. Those are my two. I don't look at the daily, anything lower. You can see is like we're testing highs here on pretty much the NASDAQ. The Russell's the only one that's not as strong, but these guys right here are testing highs. Nikkei is not as strong. The Euro is pushing higher here. And the DAC is really strong compared to the US. And the VIX is going lower. May test this low. So that's a good sign that the VIX is going down. Meaning that maybe, we could just continue grinding higher. The sell in May and go away did not play out. But we're at double top here. There's a saying, short the double tops, buy, once you close above at the double top. So there's a lot of theories, but very interesting where we at right now. Let's see if we can continue grinding higher. I'm watching it like a hawk. If something happens and we turn and it gets ugly, some event, some black swan, whatever you see and you get this big, ugly candle, I'm going to go short Russell because this is the weakest of all of these guys. But I would like to see the VIX also pop strong. But so far, it's indicating that these guys may want to grind higher in regards to the indices. Energy. Chop fest. You know why? When you do the monthly, look at that range. We haven't gone nowhere. So crude, I'm not trading it. I'm just watching it. I want to see if it goes down this way or if we break above 90. But in this range, it just shows me we just chop. I don't like trading stuff like this. Even though you can make money, intraday and stuff like that, but it's just a lot of noise. Same thing with RBOB, just chop fest. Heating oil it's a little bit, but it's a little more rangy. There's a little more swings. Here is just very narrow, like choppy. Natural gas is getting a nice little bump. So let's see how natural gas plays out. I know May 17th, I had a date that I was watching for possible turning point, and we just hit that Friday. So Monday, you're trading natural gas. Watch it like a hawk. Let's go to the weekly. Got this nice run. Weekly cycles bottomed out, so everything is looking good. Is it going to go to the moon? Okay, we're going to go to 350 and test that. Very possible, but just trail your stops. It's not going to go in a straight line. It's going to zigzag. If it's going to continue going higher. So just keep that in mind. Ethanol looks like it's now starting to get a little momo to the upside. I don't trade bonds. Soft. So there's a couple of things here I want you to notice. Cocoa now just retracing back. Cotton pushing lower. Orange juice. I can't trade orange juice, but look at that. Look at that consolidation for the whole year of 2024 and got this nice explosion. You look at the daily, you can see the consolidation right here. And orange juice just exploded to the upside. So I went and look ahead and looked at why orange juice prices soared. Something with Brazil and their production outlook for 2024. Fears price unlikely to come down anytime soon. So something's going on with Brazil. I know they had some droughts over there. So it's interesting what's going on over there. So if there's a way you could probably, if you can trade the futures, I know I can't trade the futures on orange juice. You could probably buy some stocks, regarded to orange juice. If you could look that up and do some research, maybe that might be a good opportunity. But that's something to look at. And then I started scrolling lower, and then I noticed Bill Gates liquidated 1.7 billion of his portfolio, mirroring Buffett's move to stockpile pile cash. Sounds like interesting. Everybody's going to cash now. I wonder if they know something. Interesting. With all-time highs, and everybody, you know, the top guys are piling into cash. So keep that in mind. Never know what's going on. Coffee. Look at the weekly. Just kind of popped and pulled back. Could this do the same thing? Well, yeah, you never know. Look at that. That could probably mirror, you know, orange juice, and it's just the beginning. You never know. Lumber pulled back and just kind of going sideways. Sugar just pushing lower. But if you see, there's some kind of support down there. We're getting very close. So if you're short, that would be a great area to maybe lock in profits or just trail your stops even closer to the last week's high. And that's it. Metals, gold continues to grind higher. This is the monthly. Let's look at the weekly. You see that it went high, pulled back. Now it's double. So it's testing the highs again to see if it could continue pushing higher. Silver now really getting some Momo, which is good because I own gold and silver. Physical, not stocks. So that's why I'm not, you know, I could have bought the move, but I want to expand on some other things because I don't want to pile up in gold and silver when I own it. Platinum moving higher. Copper, I already locked in profits. My target was $5, so I'm out of copper. It could continue pushing higher, but I wanted to lock in profits. I know this is a supply zone. And that's it. So this one's a good trade right here for me. A lot of people have been asking me about palladium. And palladium hasn't been really moving, although I know that the cycles have bottomed out. You see, this is one of those things that when the cycles bottom out, and I have to look, maybe there's another cycle that's creeping up. But so far, this one hasn't been really moving. We're just kind of stuck in this pattern right here. It's starting to wake up here. Look at the daily. It's getting this Momo, but it's not really, it's not giving me that oomph like, yeah, you know, maybe this low is it. This is it. It's not giving me that like maybe something like this. You know, or more even like copper. Like if this was here in this area and then this starts happening, yeah, I'll jump in. I'll be like, okay, maybe this is it. The weekly cycles are working and we're going to probably start moving higher, but it's not giving me that. So I still have it on my watch list, but I'm waiting for volume. I'm waiting for a lot of other confirmations to kick in, and it hasn't happened. Meats, live cattle, just kind of chopping within this range, just kind of going sideways. Feeder cattle is a little stronger than live cattle. If you look at the month, we just kind of see if we could just take out that high. It's not really going anywhere. Not taking out the low, but not really taking out the high. And it's kind of like in that grind. Wheats. This was a good trade. I got out at 650 around there, and it even went higher. But I'm not in it. I'm just watching it. So far, it's pulled back, but that was my target. This target right here, around 650-ish. And I know I was long corn, and I got stopped out, so I'm watching that one. But I think everything else, oats pop, but then you got this head fake. So nothing really here that's interesting. You know, that's interesting. Rice was kind of interesting, but then it just started going sideways. So no follow through. The only good one out of all these in regards to the grains was wheat. Wheat was the best one moving in regards to volatility and a nice little swing to the upside. Everything else is just kind of stagnant. Currencies, the dollar. Let's look at the dollar. Just pure chop fest. Like undecided. Doesn't want to go higher, but doesn't want to go lower. And I don't like to be in that rut. So keep an eye on it. Just put your alerts on these levels to see if it could push higher or it could push lower. But in my opinion, I want to be here in this middle this middle noise. Everybody else is doing the same thing. The yen looks like it's moving lower, but the pound, the euro, CAD, Aussie, just in this noise chop right here until something really happens and we move some kind of direction. Crypto, interesting, is starting to get a little momo to the upside. Look at that. It's just chopped fast between 7,000, 60,000, around there, 70, 60,000. And it's starting to retrace back up. I got a chart right here. So I extended the retracement from the high to this recent low. We had April, where we had the halving. Where is this? April? Yeah, this was the halving. This is when I was like, yeah, maybe it's not probably playing out. And then it sold off and made this low right here in May. And you got your midpoint, which some whales came and pushed it higher, found support at the 50, and now you're at the 61.8 right here. And no buy signal, so this is a daily chart. No buy signal yet. So it's just kind of hovering at the 61.8, which is 67,213. Now, if it wants to break through there, you'll have to deal with this trend line coming here. And if it breaks that, this high right here of 72,000, and then you have the high of 73,083.5. And if it continues going higher, while the cycles is bottoming, then this is a market that is ignoring the cycle. So kudos to all the Bitcoin guys and girls that are long, because then this is a market that is ignoring it, and it's going to do what it's going to do, and it's going to trend higher. So I think that's it. Someone asked about the Mexican dollar. I'm going to cover that now in this other clip. They were asking me about the Mexican USD. So let's go check out that chart. Okay, so this is for the US dollar Mexican. What I notice interesting is that we're already 4 years going into this down move. So each of these lines are a year of trading. This is the monthly chart. We made a high in April. Yep. 25,000 and change. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 years down. Can it go one more? Yep. 5 is an interesting number. Can it continue pushing lower? Very possible. But interesting enough, right here, you can see that there is a lot of good support right here. Anywhere between 1623, which obviously you can see that it bounced right off of there. At 1623, buyers came in. There's even one that's even more stronger, 16064, all the way to like 1579. There's a lot of support. And then you can see right here, 1567.20. And then there's this big gap right here. So anywhere between here and here, there's going to be people coming in to buy in. At least play a risky trade for a possible bounce. You know, would it last? That cat bounce? You don't know. And then maybe continue pushing lower. Or maybe test a low for a failed new low and then maybe continue. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. But just by looking at the price action and the volume, this is an interesting area right here that you want to keep on watch. In regards to the weekly, yeah, we're just kind of like at the bottom here, the barrel, below value area low, just kind of got this bounce of buyers, and now it's just pulling back. So nothing really there, and that's showing you, looks like maybe it wants to retest it, and if it bounces off of there, then that's different. And that's what you probably want to wait and see if this is going to hold. If this is going to hold, and you take out that high, there's probably going to be a lot of traders piling in. because they're going to say like, yeah, maybe this is the low. Looking at the daily chart, same thing. Took out value area low of 1669, and I may want to test that. So that's in regards to volume, and this is a 1-year chart. This is the weekly, and this is the monthly. So those are the levels for in regards to volume. In regards to the simple glance chart, you can see that it's very, very bearish below the cloud, below the 50, the 20, the 100. The 200 is finding support. It bounced off the 200 right here in conjunction with the market profile that I showed you in the other video. MACD is still positive, but still in chop fest. No buy signal here. In regards to PPS, you're in the MOBO. So very risky to go long here unless, you know, you test this and then bounce. That's the only thing that probably looks positive. On the weekly, negative. MACD is negative. PPS buy signal. Now it turned negative. You're about to crack the MOBO bands, which is like 1660. And it's kind of hanging in there. So, I mean, it could push there, but if it goes up, you can see that there was some support here at 1661, and then did a little capitulation and then bounced, and now it's pulling back. You're kind of right there. So next week, if this holds, that might not be a bad trade to go the opposite way, you know, and just put your stops right here. Just minimize it. It's like you're either in or you're either out. If it's going to turn, boom. If it's going to go against me, you know, your risk is very minimal, and then it might go test this here. And if that bounces, then go long and then put your short, you know, your stop right below that, just in case, you know, it's like, no, there's more downside, then boom, you're out. So at least you tried it twice, but you got stopped out with very low risk. And, you know, you cut your losses very, very quick. So that's how I would probably play this. And on the daily, your value area low on the 3 month, which is what, 1659 around there. In the cloud, you know, this is the linear regression channel. So this is some kind of support right here, 1650. If it gets down there, so this is another way to look at it on the daily chart. And you're very overextended. So yeah, so this could be another play where when the MACD turns positive and you're in this little area, this could probably be, you know, it's like a 1, 2, and then work on 3. If this is going to play out right here. We're not even looking at cycles or anything seasonality. We're just looking at just price action charts and a few indicators here. And maybe bounce back up to 1705. Even the value area high of 1714, which is this area right here. And then lastly, at the midpoint chart, this was the yearly low of last year, 1660. So this is where the action is happening. That's why people are getting excited, because this was last year's low. And we capitulated here, bounced, you know, head fake down. So now this is, according to Gann, this is probably where you want to start nibbling if it's going to work out, because you get the reaction, you get the reaction down. And if this is it, then this is where you minimize, you know, risk. And then you get, it looks like maybe a wave 3 could be playing out once you take out that high. So very interesting. There's no other level down here. You can see that weekly, daily, monthly, it's all bearish. So that's, unless it's going to go to 1589, this would be your next level to watch on the yearly. In regards to the weekly, you already cracked the 25%, which is 1665. This would be a next target if it's going to push lower around 1644. So that would be the next bigger target on the monthly. On the weekly, right here, you got this target right here of, I don't know what this is. Oh, I have an indicator there. Let's put that over here. 1656, but we're about, this is the weekly. Yeah, so for next week, it's going to push lower. This could be a target of 1651. But we don't have anything positive yet because we don't know if this is the low. And for Monday trading, if this is not the low, 1658, and it's going to push a little lower for Monday only, 1656 all the way to 1653. So to sum it up, just to kind of give you a clue here, looking at the yearly chart, this is a very interesting level right here, because it makes sense with the market profile on the monthly right here. And it's very, very overextended. Can it continue lower? Yeah, it can. You're going to 5 years like this. But I don't see any support here. You already took that out. The only next support in regards to pivots would be all the way down here. Like, can it go down? Yeah, it can. But so far in regards to the volume, it's showing you there's some kind of support here. So this is where if you're short, you want to like start tightening stops because you don't know if it's going to, turn on you. Hopefully this helps. And I think that's it. In the shorter term, this is a sweet spot right here and discount right here for possible turn to the upside. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully this helps you if you trade the Mexican peso, US dollar. I'm going to sign out and hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on market recap.